I understand everybody wants the Eagles to go after Kayvon, Thibodeaux, and Aidan Hutchinson. I know this, but those guys just may be out of our reach. What's good, y'all? I want to talk to y'all about George Karlaftis, the edge rusher, junior out of Purdue, played in the Big Ten. The guy is 6'4", 275 pounds, was born in Athens, Greece, and then moved to West Lafayette, Indiana when he was about 13 years old. Now, during his time at Purdue, he managed to be a third-team All-American in 2021, a first-team All-Big Ten player in 2021, two-time second team All Big Ten in 2019, his freshman year, and in 2020, his sophomore year. And he also was a USA Today High School All American in 2018. George Karlaftis, he is just a brute when it comes to the edge rusher position, when it comes to the defensive line position. The way he attacks ball carriers, the way he goes after the quarterback is just relentless. He just rushes with brute power. And when you look at his film, you see that he's a relentless pass rusher and that he has extremely active hands that causes a lot of forced fumbles and pass deflections and block kicks as well. Now, he doesn't have much arm length. That's sort of his limitation. But it sort of works to his benefit because his arms don't have to travel such a far distance to generate power. And that is kind of why he isn't really compared or really seen as being on the level of his contemporaries like Kayvon Thibodeaux and Aidan Hutchinson because of his arm length. Now, he's 6'4", but he doesn't have the longest of arms. But regardless, he has powerful hands and wreaks havoc on tight ends and running backs. And if you catch him one-on-one, he will make your left tackle or your right tackle look completely foolish. He has a slew of hand moves and counters, which can definitely help him in situations where he isn't where he doesn't really have that much length. Because of his limitations when it comes to his length, he had to develop an entire slew of counters in his bull rush, and he had to adapt and adopt an entire slew of hand movements. He had to become a nuanced technician, basically. But here's one thing about him that you have to be mindful of: if power fails him, he can get swallowed up occasionally. And his aggressiveness sometimes may lead to him breaking containment on the edge, and the ball carrier may just get out of his reach. So he's such a brute. He's such a relentless pass rusher. He's such a relentless rusher towards the ball. Sometimes he can break containment if you catch him on the outside zone run scheme. But regardless, the kid is talented. He has the wherewithal to survive in the NFL. He has the grit. He has the determination. He has the just pure, relentless nature to go after the quarterback at any point. He's just a violent tackler. He's just a violent guy on the edge, and he's somebody that I would love the Philadelphia Eagles to consider looking at to fill an edge spot because we are moving on from Derek Barnett, and we need to refortify this defensive line. He's effective. If you look at the film, he's effective in 2-point techniques. That's basically when he's standing up, no hands in the dirt, and he's also effective in a 3-point technique, which is when he has one hand in the dirt. But all in all, when you think about everything he brings to the table outside of just pass rushing, he can definitely get behind the line of scrimmage and attack the ball carrier and force a lot of tackles for loss. Now, when it comes to his numbers, it doesn't really tell the whole story with him because his freshman season at Purdue, he had 54 total tackles, 30 solo, 24 assisted, 2 pass deflections, 7.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 1 interception. In 2020, that was the COVID year, and he got hurt, but he ended up accumulating 2 sacks in the short amount of time he played. Now in 2021, I'm a little curious about this. He had a significant amount of tackles, but not as much as he did in 2019. There was a disparity. He had 36 total tackles compared to his freshman year at 54. Now, he had 25 solo compared to his 30 in his freshman year. So that's not such a large disparity. The larger disparity is in the assisted tackles. He had 2 pass deflections in 2021 again, and he had 4.5 sacks compared to 7.5 sacks in his freshman year. So in 2021, his junior year, only 4.5 sacks. Freshman year, 7.5 sacks. Now, I want to know why there was a drop off in that stat. I would have expected it to to go to another level. But sometimes situations dictate circumstances, and I'm not going to really hold that against him. But I am curious to know why there was a drop off in production. He did have 2 forced fumbles though. But regardless, I am curious about the drop off in production when it comes to the sack department. But regardless, when you just look at what he brings to the table from a skill set perspective, the kid has relentless hands, active hands, goes after the football. He's a technician. He can line up in a 2-point or 3-point technique. He has a pure ball rush. But we do have to be mindful of the fact that when the power fails him, he can't get swallowed up. So he has to develop more finesse moves. He has to get faster. I would like to see him put on a little bit more weight, but as it appears, based off his frame, he filled out for the most part. So expect this guy to be what he is. Don't expect too much weight to come on, but I would love him to accumulate a lot more moves outside of just that ball rush. But regardless, the kid is a stud. It'd be amazing if the Philadelphia Eagles even consider looking at him. But I'll leave it at that, you guys. You guys tell me how you guys feel about George Karlaftis, the edge rusher out of Purdue. And I'll leave it at that. Also, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the content as well. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got charges to the game. One love, stay humble, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay hungry.